Hi there! Woo, woo, woo. I'm Archer Avalon, and this is Eternal Life Church. I wanted to welcome you. Today's video, we're going to talk to you about can Christians practice yoga. This is going to be controversial. If you like this video at any point, please like it. If I say anything that maybe resonates with you, please post a comment below. If you've got questions, post them below. And if what I say triggers something deep inside of you that may seem inaccurate, if I'm saying things that sound inaccurate to you, please post those below. I am not the end-all be-all of truth. I'm doing my best to represent God and Jesus the best that I can. So, with that said, let's talk about yoga. Well, one of the fears that a lot of Christians, and I believe particularly most of it comes from the Roman Catholic Church, which some people might argue is not really that Christian to begin with. I don't want to erupt a big hullabaloo over that, but you know, there's plenty of good Catholics. I'm not coming down on Catholics, but you know, the Roman Catholic Church has done its share of damage to the world. And it's wielded a lot of power. So I think they're afraid because they're losing parishioners left and right. Not too far from where I live, in the town of Fall River, Massachusetts, St. Anne's Church actually closed down. The Roman Catholic Church pulled out, and they actually sold this beautiful church. It's just a gorgeous church. It's like a stonemason church. They sold it, I think, to a local man who was married there back in his youth. And one thing I will say is, if I come down on the Catholic Church, know that I'm coming down on the structure. I'm not coming down on individuals. I have known many, many fine Catholics throughout my life, and I've had great times with them, and I've loved them, and they've loved me. So this is definitely not coming down on an individual Catholic. I just feel like there's a lot of challenges with the church in and of itself. So with that said, though, that's where a lot of this anti-yoga propaganda comes from, is from the Roman Catholic Church. And they want you to think that yoga is like an extension of Hinduism. And to some degree it is, but you can practice yoga as a Christian. And what yoga truly is, it's the science of God realization. And it's just performed through meditation. So you meditate, you use specific practices to meditate and to come closer to God, and it creates in you dissolution of your ego and a promotion of God flowing through you. That's what yoga is. It means to yoke, to like yoke your will to God's will. Jesus used to always say, "My Father and I are one." That's a very yogic concept. So you can practice yoga. You can practice the asanas. You can practice the breathing techniques. You can practice the 8-limbed Ashtanga system of yoga to improve your body, mind, and to free your soul. And this is all okay. If you are a very solid Christian, you might be afraid of the pantheon. And there is some pantheon stuff in there. Even some of the yoga moves are named after some of these Hindu deities. And I don't, promote that. I mean, you can do the practice, you can stretch out your body and like learn to breathe, and it's great. It will save you a lot, and it can really create health in your life. And that's really what the 8-limb system's about. One of the things that in the eight arms of yoga, or the 8 limbs of yoga, there's the yamas and the niyamas. And those are at the bedrock of the practice. And yama and niyama, I believe yama means do, and niyama means do not. So it's basically the do's and the don'ts. And if you look at the yamas and the niyamas, it basically lines up with the 10 Commandments. And in some ways, it's actually more stringent than the Ten Commandments, because it does talk about the concept of it talks about the concept of brahmacharya, which I think is generally even more challenging than just simply do not commit adultery, which is certainly a very good commandment. But brahmacharya actually goes a step further, because people can take it to the extent of pretty much being celibate most of their life and only using sex for reproductive purposes. But I'm not going to weigh in on that. I think you can have a healthy and refreshing sex life with a husband and wife, and that should be promoted, because sex like that, it promotes strength of the relationship. But I'm a little off topic. So, as you can see, there's a lot of connections between yoga and Christianity. And through the practice of yoga, you can get closer to God more quickly. Because, again, I've said this in previous videos, but just going to church, showing up once a week, it's got value. Don't get me wrong, it's got value, but it's not going to get you there very quickly. I mean, I've attended some churches where there's some great people there, but for the most part, it's just like it's empty. And folks, they don't know what they're doing. They're on their path back to God. That's what these churches do. All churches and really all true good religions are paths back to God. It's just people get really distracted by all the things of this world. And yoga, meditation, an inner communion with God, praying, meditating, spending time in your closet alone, talking to God, that's how you speed up the process of getting back to God. So, that's what yoga is about. And this church is a melding of that. It's a melding of the original Christianity before the Roman Catholics came in and before they basically put a corporate mandate over Christianity. And it's a synthesis of the original yoga, the original God union. And, you know, it's like the Essenes. It's like the original people, like the original Hebrews, the true lovers of God. And those people who were there with Jesus when he was on earth and walked with him and talked with him and did all that awesome stuff. So that's it for this video. So yes, you can practice yoga. Just do it with your Christian glasses on, and don't do anything that violates that. Don't buy a statue of Vishnu or of the elephant-headed god. I forget his name. Yeah, don't do any of that. Just go to yoga, and you'll find plenty of Christian yoga teachers out there that will teach you yoga, and will keep out the pantheon. You can read a lot of good yoga books. Light on Yoga is a great one by BKS Iyengar. That's great book. It's got a lot of spiritual wisdom in it, and it'll uplift your life. Autobiography of a Yogi is a great book too. Really fun book to read, especially if you're spiritually minded. You'll love it. And as you may know, I'm a big fan of Paramahansa Yogananda and consider myself one of his disciples. He would call me God's disciple if he were here now, because he wouldn't take the credit for me. A good teacher, a good guru, gives everything to God, holds nothing for themselves. It's like kind of what Jesus said when he said, "Why dost thou callest me good? There is but one good, and that's the Father in heaven." So, with all of that said, I'm going to sign off this video and let you know that yoga is okay, Christianity is okay. They're like peanut butter and chocolate. You can mix them together and yum, it's good stuff. All right, so that's it for this video. As always, the light in me honors the light in you. Peace. And before I say goodbye and sign off, please remember, if you like this video, if it's giving you value, please like, subscribe, and share. Post a comment, question, anything below. And if you'd like to provide a little bit of financial support, please consider becoming a Patreon. We'd greatly appreciate it. And as always, again, the light in me honors the light in you. Peace. God love you.